Well, he's a Chicagoan who starred in films like The Inkwell, Love Jones, and Dead Presidents. Now he's producing, directing, and hosting the podcast series Bronzeville, now in its second season. Welcome back, Larenz Tate. Hey, Larenz.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? So happy to be back. This is a great time to be back with you guys and represent Bronzeville, Chi-Town in the building.
That's right. Hey, you know, Ryan is reading off all of the movies that I love, movies I have seen, Love Jones, Dead President, all of that kind of stuff. But he didn't say also Power. We got to give you your power. I mean, I know, I'm so like, I'm doing the Power book too, but I just, that last season, man, you guys did your thing.
We appreciate that. Yeah, definitely part of the Power universe, and it's taken a life of its own. Now there's different spinoffs. There's Ghost, there's Kanan, and also Force. So yeah, there's a lot of great things happening. I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm staying working. You know, that's always a good thing as an artist when you can say that you were working. Blessing.
Yeah, well, with all those kids, you have to keep working.
Yes, indeed, I have to. You know what I'm saying? My wife and I, we love children, and we just, you know. So we love children more than we love making children. I think it's both. And yeah, so what can I say? We're big on family.
That's exactly right. Okay, so I know you're in New York now, but with the pandemic and everything, you're from Chicago, have you been able to get back at all? Like just here or there, or just mostly the Zooms?
No, mainly Zooms, yeah, because of the pandemic and while working, you know, there's a lot of restrictions. So flying and trying to visit home is not always the case. So when I travel now, I travel with my family. So because they are distance learning, my children can do school via Zoom. So we're all together and we're just trying to, you know, stay as safe and healthy as possible.
Right. Well, doing the podcast is obviously a safe way to, you know, practice social distancing and all of that. And this thing has 20 million downloads, called Bronzeville. For people that haven't tuned in yet, tell us a little bit about it. And did you have any idea it was going to take off like this?
You know, Bronzeville is an audio series that takes place in the 1930s. 1940s in the south side of Chicago, a predominantly African-American area where at a time where Black folks were coming out of the South, escaping, you know, the harsh life of Jim Crow South, they wind up in places like Chicago on the South Side and found that the American dream was able to be attained by, doing things that that most of the American dream was built on. Part of that was racketeering, running numbers, but was great about the pillars of the community who were sort of running these numbers. They decided to invest back into the community by creating businesses and companies and being able to establish hospitals and Black-owned, and Black-operated businesses where we can sort of thrive. And we just wanted to remind not only the Black community, but remind the world that, you know, we've come through a lot, and if we stick together as a group and as a people, we certainly can thrive like other communities do. And so this audio series is a representation of that.
Right. I read that you learned a lot more about the Bronzeville community from Quincy Jones when you were working on the movie Ray. Is that true?
Yes. It's an interesting story because the genesis of it all started with Quincy Jones. I was able to play young Quincy in the, movie starring Academy Award winning actor Jamie Foxx as Ray, and I was able to spend some time with Quincy, and we talked about everything under the sun. And one of the things that he had really kind of got into was being from Chicago and the South Side of Chicago, Bronzeville, the policy, running numbers, and that was sort of our way of getting into establishing a community that was self-sufficient, Then eventually what happened is after the numbers running got so big, the government came in and it turned into what is today the Illinois State Lottery. So we have a lot to do with the lottery. Understand it.
Right.
So
It went from being illegal and shunned to, hey, we can make some money and make it for the state. Yeah. This story is so remarkable. And when I'm hearing you talk about the audio series, and I saw Laurence Fishburne, I know you're working with him, I keep thinking this needs to be a movie.
Yeah.
It needs to be a series. Is that being talked about?
Well, absolutely. The whole point of this audio series, or the storytelling of Bronzeville, was to do it either as a movie and or as a TV series. Myself, along with Laurence Fishburne and our production companies, we went around town. We went to every major network in Hollywood. We went to every studio, and they told us there was no audience for a period piece where Black folks weren't so-called, quote unquote, running from racial issues. We deal with racial issues, but once you get to a community that is predominantly Black, that has Black police departments where Black folks police each other, where you have city officials and we operate things, and we're not so-called running from the man. We're doing well. And they said that there just wasn't an audience for it. So going to do this audio series, as you mentioned, 20 million downloads and counting, there is proof of content. And so now we're at a place that the IP, the story is set up at a major studio and a major network, and we are going to do it as a TV series now. But we had to do a lot of jumping. And it just says something about Hollywood as it's trying to create inclusion and trying to grow. Yes, we've done a lot, and we've made a lot of things happen in terms as a Black community in Hollywood. But I think when we don't have representation on the other side of where I'm sitting, when we don't have decision makers who look like me or have experienced things that myself or my community has experienced, then you're going to get non-believers. You're going to get people who don't really believe there's an audience. And so we had to prove that to be not true. And so now the proof of content, and it's all good. We're happy because the audio series is a whole nother space. So we have audiences and people hearing the story. And that's the biggest thing at the end of the day, for us to get the information and the story that is loosely based on real families, real things that has happened in our communities. And we're happy that it's now set up as a TV series, and we're going to have an incredible time working on that as well.
Larenz, I was going to ask you real quick, so much of your career has been in front of the camera. Has it been an adjustment to just be giving your audio and being in back of the camera now? Or just your voice being heard?
Well, it's a different kind of thing. The whole idea of just sort of having theater of the mind was something new for me, but I was really excited about doing it. And we wanted to approach it as if we were going to approach a high quality movie or high quality television series. So I mean, this is like second to none. I mean, just the quality, and I'm happy to be in front of the mic, helping direct along with Laurence Fishburne, the great Laurence Fishburne, producing with my brothers LeVar and Lahmard. This has just been a dream come true. And again, coming from Chicago, telling a story about a place where we don't get a chance to know more than what's going on in the media about Chicago and things in our community, and just all the turmoil and just the trauma that we've experienced. I wanted to highlight and show a different side of Chicago, coming specifically from the Black community, that has not been seen and is truthful. When we unify, great things happen. When Black folks unify and do things, it helps everybody. Everybody.
Tell me about it. I'm with you on that one, Larenz. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time. Again, you guys make sure y'all tune in to Bronzeville Season 2. It's available on all platforms. Again, I appreciate you all support. Nothing but love.
All right. As you just heard him say, be sure to catch Larenz on Season 2 of Bronzeville, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else podcasts are found. New episodes drop every Tuesday, so be sure to check it out.